65% of golfers experience golf injuries that affect their golf game. Now, these injuries are mostly found in the lower back, shoulders, wrist, and elbows. Makes a lot of sense. What's interesting there, though, is professional golfers or aspiring professional golfers are about 90, just under 90% of those injuries, while amateurs are around 40 to 50% of those injuries. So a lot of these people are told to work on your core, strengthen your core. Well, let's define what the core is right now. A lot of people think the core is just your abdominal wall, which it is. That's a big part of your core. But to me, your entire core is your entire torso and your head and neck. So everything except your arms and your legs are the core of you. And the more you can get that core stabilized, the better you're going to stand your chances of not having injury, and also stabilizing the limbs we talked about that are outside of the core. Now, why is the abdominal wall so important when it comes to the core? Well, when the abdominal wall is functioning correctly, it creates this hoop tension, which means our belly button draws in, and almost like a corset in those old dresses you see in Gone with the Wind, the way they draw the string, that's the way that the front of our abdominal wall helps stabilize our back. For example, if I was to take a toothpaste, a thing of toothpaste, and squeeze the middle of it, that's the type of hoop tension that we need to create in our abdominal wall to stabilize our lower back. A lot of times, pain in the back is instability. Now, it's a functional instability, which means that certain muscles aren't working and muscles are overworking. That's why people will tell you to stretch a lot of times to help with back pain. But to truly get over the back pain, you're going to need to do some sort of corrective exercise that helps you stabilize that unstable area. But first, you should stretch some muscles that become dysfunctional in that relationship. So the abdominal wall creates hoop tension. A great way to test that is if you were to, let me get a little weight here, because sometimes it takes a little weight. When you bend over and you get to 45, your belly button should draw in. So do me a favor, take 3 fingers, take your middle finger, your index finger, and your ring finger. Put your middle finger in your belly button, index finger about 1 inch above, and ring finger about 1 inch below. Now that you have those 3 in place, I want you to bend over forward all the way down to the ground, or as far as you can. Your fingers should draw inward. They should draw inward. Sometimes you'll feel the top 2 or the top 1 draw in, and the bottom 2 or bottom 1 won't draw in. I see that in a lot of people. So the first thing with your core and your abdominal wall, if it's working correctly, that's a base thing there. Sometimes also I wanted to mention to you that if you don't feel it by just bending over forward, then bend over forward and grab something. This is just a little 10-pound plate. Sometimes it takes up to 20 pounds, but go down and pick up something that provides a little stress on the body, and that will sometimes make that abdominal wall function correctly and draw in. If your abdominal wall is jutting out when you bend over forward, then you have a dysfunctional core that could be affecting your segmental stability of your lower back. If you think about a skeleton, why is the abdominal wall so important? Why is the abdominal wall so important? Because it stabilizes a portion of our spine that we call as naked. Up here I have my ribs that reinforce this part of my spine to help, so my ribs branch out from that portion of the spine, and it helps stabilize that portion of the spine. Down here, my lower back, which is only about this big, there's nothing to stabilize that area. It's naked. So that's why that hoop tension and the function of the abdominal wall is so important to stabilizing that naked lumbar spine. Now, when it comes to the neck and head area, one thing we can do to test that to see how our stabilizers are working in our neck, because if we don't have a stable neck, our head's going to be moving all over the place. It's going to be hard to hit golf shots. It's going to be hard to not get fatigued over time too if we don't have good stability in our neck. But something we can do, I like to take a Swiss ball, our stability ball, and lay back on it, putting our hands right behind our ears. We can start doing sit-ups, but I don't want you to help your head. Okay, these are just on my head, guiding my head. They're not helping me come up. You know, we want our tongue to be on the roof of our mouth. And as we start doing sit-ups, what we want to notice, we want to just keep going, and we want to see what fatigues on us first. Does our abdominal wall fatigue, or does the front of our neck fatigue? Many of you are going to find that your neck, the front of your neck gets tired before. It'll be your limiting factor to doing more reps rather than your abdominal wall. That is a good sign that your neck has some instability in the front. Deep stabilizers of our neck are along the front of the neck here, and they often get weak because muscles in the back of our neck take over because of devices we stay on all day, forward head posture it's called. So that's 2 checks I want you to try. I want you to put your 3 fingers, middle finger in your belly button, index finger an inch above, ring finger an inch below. I want you to bend over forward and try to pick something up that weighs between 10 and 20 pounds. And what you're going to notice is that your fingers should draw inward. If they jut outward, that means you have a dysfunctional core, and it's something we need to work on, and I'll show you in some videos coming up how to do that. Next, what I want you to do is grab that stability ball, and you can do this on the floor too, but it's really better with a stability ball because you can really target the insufficient muscles in the front of the neck here. So we want to, and by the way, you should only do sit-ups on a stability ball because it takes you for a full range of motion. Just think, if I was on a floor, I would never be able to get here, which your six-pack muscles are designed to open up and then close. But that's besides the point. For this video, we're checking these muscles in the front of the neck. Can you sit here and do sit-ups for as long as you can? Which muscles get tired first, your abdominal wall or in the front of your neck here? So give those 2 a try, and remember that your core is it's everything except your legs and your arms. And stability is activating and conditioning those deep muscles that stabilize everything besides your arms and legs. So those are the muscles of your cervical spine, the deep muscles of your thoracic spine. However, the rib cage, the bony structure of the rib cage helps us. That's why we don't get much upper back thoracic injuries as we do compared to lumbar spine, which is naked. And the only thing that provides the lumbar spine support is our ability to create hoop tension, or our belly button drawing inward when we start to move or go pick up things. Just think in golf how many times you lean over to get your ball out of the hole, check your ball, pick it up out of the woods. And if your core's not working correctly, that can just create shear at some segments of the lumbar spine. And then lastly, cervical spine with the sit-up test. So give those a try. Comment in the comments if you have any questions on how to do them. I'll answer them as soon as I see them. And be on the lookout for my 5 stability tests every golfer should pass. A little hint, you've already seen a few of them, so give these a try so you'll know what's coming up. And thanks again, and remember that speed starts with stability. If you don't have stability and you try to add a bunch of speed to your golf swing, that creates instability. Instability could potentially equal injury or pain.